Hey guys, I'm coming to you from my kitchen today because it is the only room in my whole house that has good lighting because it's raining outside, and I have like a huge light in the view in my living room right here, and it was just not a good situation. But today I am going to be filming my March reading wrap up. I only read 7 books this month and 2 were audiobooks because I had a very chaotic month. I got sick 3 times. I had to miss like conferences and things and had to make that up. So I had a lot of work to do this month. So reading did not happen. I am going to use my reading journal to tell you all about the books I read. It's very me. I have a lot of like Taylor Swift stickers. And this is where I keep track of all the books I've read and what I rate them. So the first book that I read in the month of March was an audiobook, and it was Echo by Pamela Munoz Ryan. And I 110% recommend just listening to this audiobook. It is a journey. It is just such a good story. And the theatrics of it all is just beautifully done. I love it so much, and I highly recommend it to anyone. It is basically about this boy, and he finds a harmonica, and he realizes like he's the son of a king and a queen, and the king only wanted a son. So he kept giving his daughters to this witch, and she cursed them and put them inside the harmonica. So the only way that they can be freed from this harmonica is if it is passed to 3 other people. And it's about, there's like 4 separate stories, and it's all about like the beauty of music and the magic of music, and it's such a good book. So I highly recommend. That was a great book to read. Did rate that a 5 out of 5. This one I also rated a 5 out of 5. It is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This is about a girl named Eliza, and she's like very shy. She's kind of an outcast at her school, but online she writes the most famous like fan fiction story ever, and like so many people recognize her and love her, and her secret gets out, and it's kind of about her like navigating how to do life now that her secret of who she really is gets out. It's a really good book. I gave it 5 out of 5. I highly recommend reading it. Next one was a super disappointing read, and it was Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. I had never read a Sarah Dessen book before, and I was really disappointed. It was, first of all, so long. Every chapter was like 65 pages long, and it was just so slow because of that. So I ended up giving it a 2 out of 5. It was not that good, and I was really excited about this one, and it really let me down. But it's about this girl named, what is her name? Ruby, and she's sent to live with her sister Cora, and her sister like is married now, and she hasn't really seen her sister in 5 years, and Ruby makes a lot of like bad choices, so her sister's trying to get her to make good choices and go to college, and it's just kind of about her like navigating life. Her mom went missing, and they don't really know where her mom went. She just kind of abandoned her. So there's a lot that goes on in this book, but it's just kind of boring. So I don't know. I did not like this book. Maybe I'm too old to read Sarah Dessen. I'm not sure. Next book is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I read It Ends With Us in February. So I read It Starts With Us this month, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I just felt like it wasn't as good as the first book, but it still had a lot of potential, and there was still a lot of good things in it, but I don't know. This was kind of an unnecessary sequel. But basically it's a continuation of Lily's story. Yeah, it's good. I don't want to say too much about it. Then I listened to The Firekeeper's Daughter on audiobook, and it was really, really good. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I was not expecting it to be what it was. It was kind of a thriller, murder mystery, and like drug bust book. And it's about this Native American tribe, and there's a bunch of murders that happen that are linked to like these drugged mushrooms that have like crystal meth in them. And so this girl whose best friend was killed goes on this like journey to figure out like where they're coming from, who is doing all these murders. It's like really intense. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because some parts got really slow. But I am glad I listened to the audiobook because there were a lot of words that I could not pronounce, did not understand. Next book was Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is the prequel to The Hate U Give, and it's about Maverick and who he was before The Hate U Give and before he had Star, and just how he navigated life as a young Black boy who was kind of forced into a gang, and it just kind of tells you his story. It's really great. I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was just as good as The Hate U Give. And then the last book is The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I don't know how to say that name, but this is a classic like children's book that I have always been like intrigued by. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's like very just like poetic. It's like you're reading a painting. I don't really know how else to explain it, but this like pilot ends up stranded on an island or in the desert, and he awakes one morning and he finds this little prince, and together they go on this like journey to these planets, and it has a really sad ending. But overall, I really liked this book. It was a 4 out of 5, definitely worth the read. And yeah, it's like reading a painting. That is all the books that I read in the month of March. This was a very short video this month, but I have a lot of plans for my April reading, so I will see you next month for another reading wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay beautiful. Bye.